Amud Beis. The Mishnah taught that there's something called shchita she'ena re'uya, an act of slaughter that does not permit the animal to be eaten. So, according to Rabbi Shimon, an act of slaughter that doesn't permit an animal to be eaten is not called shchita. Maybe it's called killing, maybe it's called hariga, but it's not called shchita. So since the Torah said, shor o chesev, a ox or a sheep, o sov es beno, it and its child, lo sishchatu b'yom echad, you're not allowed to do shchita on them on one day. So therefore, since it says shor o chesev, o sov es beno, lo sishchatu b'yom echad, so it only applies to shchita. You can't do a shchita on the mother and the child, or as we saw according to Hananya, according to on the father and the child also. You can't do shchita on both on one day. But if it's not shchita, if let's say the mother was not slaughtered, but the mother was hung on a gallows, or was shot with a gun, so then certainly you could kill the child on the same day. You could do shchita on the child on that same day. Now Rabbi Shimon extends that. Rabbi Shimon says that any act of shchita, any act of taking the knife and slitting the neck, but it didn't create a permission of eating the meat, is not called shchita. It is treated as a shooting, it is treated as a hanging. It's not called shchita. So the Mishnah gave 5 examples of what that would be. Shochet, and it turns out that the animal's a treifa. He shechts for avodah zara. He shechts a paraschatas. He shechts a paraduma. So paraduma, you're not allowed to eat it. It's it has to be burned and use the ashes. You can't get benefit from it. So that's not a shechita that permits it to be eaten. You shecht an ox that anyway is going to be stoned because it killed someone. Shar niskal. It's aser bana. Or somebody shechted egla rufa. In any of these cases, Rabbi Shimon said that's not called shechita. That's called killing, because it's not a shechita that permits to be eaten. So if it's not a shechita, you'd be able to do shechita on its child on the same day. So now the Gemara talks about this case of paras chatas. 3 lines from the bottom of Pei Aleph Amud Beis. Asks the Gemara, paras chatas, is that true that when you slaughter a paraduma, shechita she'ena re'uya, that gets qualified or that gets classified as a shechita that didn't permit, and therefore, according to Rabbi Shimon, you could then slaughter the child of this paraduma, or you could slaughter the mother of the paraduma. Let's say it that way. So how could you say that? V'atan we lived in a brayso. Rabbi Shimon says parametama tomas ochlin, that if you have a paraduma and it's slaughtered, it has the status of food. And if something with, let's say a dead sheretz touches it, it makes it tameh. That if it then touches food, it makes the other food tameh. Why shasa kosher? Because once it was slaughtered, it had a moment when it is kosher, and it could have been eaten. So, Rabbi Shimon Lakish, and Reish Lakish said further, what's pshat? Rabbi Shimon used to hold para niftes al gabi marachasa, that even after you slaughter the paraduma, even if you did it the right way, and you put it on top of the stack of wood to be burned, if you then find a nicer cow, then you could redeem this cow. You could redeem this cow. You could say, 1 second, the status and the holiness of this cow is removed, going on to the money, and I'm going to use a different cow for it. So you see that it could then become permitted to be eaten. So that's called a shechita re'uya. So, someone's knocking at the door. In general, paraduma does not have to be done in the azar. Paraduma is done on harazesim, correct. Paraduma is never done in the azar.
But the red cow has no different qualification than the other cows. I don't understand why.
Oh, sure it does.
Comparing, yeah. So
sure, it has different qualifications, different laws. The paraduma.
Correct. That's. So why is he saying that the same? What?
We're saying that paraduma is something where when it's slaughtered, you still can't eat it. We're saying it's not true.
You cannot.
The Mishnah said you couldn't eat it. We're saying you're not true because you could always remove it from being paraduma. Even after the slaughtering, you could turn it into non-paraduma. Then the slaughter would be a kosher slaughter.
After it was slaughtered.
Even after it was slaughtered, you could remove the sanctity from it and remove the status of paraduma from it.
Is the red cow rabbi automatically a paraduma?
No, it has to be dedicated. It has to be dedicated, sanctified. So Rabbi Yochanan said, so take it out. Paraschatas ain't a Mishnah. Take it out. That's not right. So the Mishnah listed 5 cases of a shchita she'ena ru'uya, a shchita that doesn't make the item edible. One of them was slaughtering a red cow. And Reb Shimon holds it's not called shchita in all these cases, it's called hariga. Says Rabbi Yochanan, take out paraduma. Because Rabbi Shimon himself holds that paraduma, even after it's slaughtered, you could, in fact, remove the sanctity, and then it would be okay. So you see, it is a shchita ru'uya. The shchita is something which could be eaten eventually. It's not something which you know it's a shchita, but it can't be eaten. It could be eaten if you remove the sanctity. All right, so now we're down to 4 cases in the Mishnah. So now the Gemara says, let's reduce it to 3. Because what was the 5th case? Egla rufa. The 5th case was if we found a dead man. So we know that the rabbis from the nearest city have to come with a calf to a river, to the Nachal Eitan, and there they have to put their hands on the calf and say, Yadenu l'shafko sadam hazeh. The people of our city are not the reason why this person died. We treated him well. And then the Kohanim have to come, and they have to come with their axe, and they chop off the head of the calf. So there also, let's say it wasn't chopped off with the head. Let's say before it was chopped off, somebody comes and he shechts it. That's a shchita, which is ein ru'uya. That shchita is not going to make it eligible to be eaten. So the Gemara says, that's true. The egla rufa, when you talk about egla rufa, somebody shechts the calf that's dedicated to be an egla rufa. Lav shchita ru'uya hi. That shchita didn't permit the food to be eaten. Let's say we found the killer. We found the killer of this dead body. Before we had a chance to chop off the head of the calf, say the calf loses all of its status of egla rufa. She can exit the tira ba'eder and let her now pasture in a flock. Becomes chulin, exactly. So you see that even though you called it egla rufa, it doesn't have any special status of egla rufa until it actually gets chopped off. And so if he shechts before he chopped off the head, so it was a kosher shechita because it became chulin.
How do we know it's
Yeah,
a
but that's something because
kosher
the murder.
shechita?
What's that?
How do we know it was shecht, kosher?
If there was a kosher shechita.
It was,
If somebody were to do a kosher shechita on a calf that was dedicated to be an egla rufa, it should be a fine shechita. Because what are we saying? If you're saying it's not a fine shechita, it's because you're saying once it was dedicated as egla rufa, it already is prohibited. You can't get any benefit from it. So the shechita now is going to be a shechita, something which you can't get benefit from. So it's not a shechita that permits it to be eaten. But you see here, it's not true. You see here that it's not the dedication that makes it prohibited to get benefit. Because if the dedication would make it prohibited to get benefit, so then even if you would find the murderer, it still would be prohibited to get benefit from it. Because it was already dedicated to be an ekla rufa. But you see that since once you find the murderer, it goes back to being regular chulin. You see that what's going to make it prohibited to get benefit from it is the actual chopping off of the head. So in the case of shechita, the head wasn't chopped off. So then it wouldn't become prohibited ever. So Amr Reb Shimon Lakish, Shimon Rabbi Yanai. So now Rish Lakish says the name of Rabbi Yanai. Take that out too. Egla Rufa ain't a Mishnah. Egla Rufa doesn't belong there. Take it out. So now we're down to 3 cases of Shechita Sheina Ru'uya. So Gemara says, really? Mi Amar Rabbi Yanai Hachi? Did Rabbi Yanai say such a thing? Amar Rabbi Yanai, we know that Rabbi Yanai says in several places in Shas, Gvul Shamatiba, I heard that there's a certain boundary, that once this stage is passed, the calf becomes prohibited to get any benefit from it as an egla rufa. The shochachti, I forgot what that boundary was. The nazvin chavraya lomar, and my friends, in other words, the other rabbis in the yeshiva, came around me to tell me, you know at what point it becomes egla rufa and you can't get any benefit from it? Once it is being taken down to the valley, when it's taken down to the riverbed, going down to the Nachal Eitan, to the strong river, at that point, it becomes prohibited. You can't get any benefit from it anymore. So you see that according to Rabbi Yanai, it does become prohibited when it's still alive. So if it becomes prohibited when it's still alive, it's a good example. If someone were to slaughter the egla rufa after it went down to the Nachal Eitan, it was already prohibited to get benefit from it because it was going down to it had already gone to the Nachal Eitan. And that would be a shchita she'ena ru'uya, a shchita that didn't permit it to be eaten. So 1 second. Now if it's Rabbi Yanai, Lishnis, Rabbi Yanai can give a very simple answer to that Mishnah. He can say our Mishnah, that Mishnah that says if you find the murderer before the Arifa. The Egla is fine, it's Chullin, it's Kodem Yerida, it's before it went down to the riverbed. Kan, our Mishnah that says that slaughtering an Egla Arufa is a slaughter that doesn't permit it, is Le'achar Yeridas, after it went down to the riverbed. So, Amar Rav Pinchas Breder Rav Ami, so Rav Pinchas, the son of Rav Ami, said like this, Anan Mishmei Rav Shimon Lakish, Masdina Lo. So you're right, it's not Rabbi Yanai, it's not Amar Rav Shimon Lakish Mishum Rabbi Yanai, we just have it as Rish Lakish. Amar Rav Shimon Lakish, Egla Arufa, Eina Mishnah. We just had it as Rish Lakish saying it. Rish Lakish is saying Egla Arufa doesn't belong in the Mishnah. Rabbi Yana, in fact, holds that Egla Arufa at a point becomes prohibited to get benefit from it when it's still alive. But Rish Lakish doesn't, and we're just quoting Rish Lakish. Amar Rav Ashi. Okay, yeah. Seth, you had a question?
It's even more obvious to say at the time that it's over is when you cut his neck for shchita and you had it get found. You had to get found the thing. Why did it have to be? This man was.
Because apparently the Gemara is assuming that the idea that if you find the murderer, then the calf is free to go means that the calf doesn't yet have the status of Egla Arufa till the head is chopped off on the back of the neck.
Yeah, but until you find the murderer.
So once you find the murderer, so now it can go.
If you shech the egla before you find.
No, but if you shech the egla, you also didn't cut the back of the neck. You didn't do the mitzvah of Egla Arufa, which is chopping off the back of the neck. So if you didn't do the mitzvah of Egla Arufa, and that's what makes it Asr B'Hana, then it's not Asr B'Hana, it's Mutter B'Hana, and the Shechita should permit it. So that's what the Gemara is assuming. But the Gemara is saying, no, according to Rabbi Yanai, once it's being taken down to the riverbed, it becomes prohibited to get benefit from it.
Why, Rabbi?
Based on the Psukim, I guess. So that was Rish Lakish. Amar Rav Ashi said, Ki Avina be Rav Papa, when I was in the yeshiva of Rav Papa, Kashalan, I had a problem with this whole discussion. The same way you asked, how could Rabbi Yana have been the one who said this? Could Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish be the one who says this? Well, Itmar, we learned a lesson of Amoraim. Sipore Mitzora. The birds that are part of the process of purifying a Mitzora. At what point do they become prohibited, that you can't get benefit from them? Rabbi Yochanan says at the moment of the act of slaughtering, at that point it becomes prohibited. And Rish Lakish says from the moment of purchasing them, then they're both prohibited, and then when one is sent away, that becomes permitted, and the other one stays prohibited. We said, my time with Rav Shimon ben Lakish. What's the reason with Rav Shimon ben Lakish who says that the purchase is what makes them prohibited? Gamar kicha kicha mi'egla arufa. He learns Gzeira Shava. It says about kicha. It says about egla arufa v'lakhu zikniya irahi. Eglas bakar. The elders of that city are going to take a calf. So when they take, it becomes prohibited. And it says about saras v'lakach lamitaher shtetzi parim chayos. So also there also says v'lakach. So there also becomes prohibited from the moment that it was taken. So if he's learning from Egla Arufa that the calf becomes prohibited from the moment that it's taken, so you can't tell me that the calf is only prohibited from the moment that its head is chopped off. It's prohibited from the moment that it was taken. And we learn from the fact that it's prohibited from the moment that it was taken, that also the birds are prohibited from the moment that they were taken, the birds of Tzara'as, the birds of a Mitzora. So how can you say that Rish Lakish is the one who says that during the that you're going to take out the example of Egla Arufa? Egla Arufa works very nicely. Again, our Mishnah wants to give examples of a shchita where they did the formal act of slitting the two pipes, but it didn't make the animal permitted. Egla Arufa is a good example of that, because once you buy the Egla Arufa, it becomes Egla Arufa, you can't get any benefit from it. If they then were to slaughter it, so it didn't work. The shchita didn't make it permitted, because it's prohibited to get benefit from it. Ela Amar Rav Chiya bar Abba, rather says Rav Chiya bar Abba, it's not Rish Lakish, it's not Rabbi Yanai, it's Amar Rabbi Yochanan. It is Rabbi Yochanan who said Egla Arufa Eina Mishnah. It's Rabbi Yochanan who holds that Egla Arufa doesn't belong in this list of 5 examples of Shchita She'eina Ru'uya. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, the Egla Arufa doesn't become prohibited during its lifetime. It only becomes prohibited once the back of the neck is chopped off. So therefore, if there were to be a Shchita, not not a back of the neck chop off, then it would be in fact a kosher to be eaten animal. So it would be a shechita that could be eaten because it hadn't become prohibited yet. So therefore it can't be listed in our Mishnah as an example of shechita she'eina ruya. 1 second, a question, Gabriel.
Even if they have not found the murderer.
Correct.
So the back of the neck is broken. Do they do shecht first?
No, they don't do shechita. Egla roof means to break the back of the neck with the axe.
And it's kosher? Rabbi?
No, you can't get any benefit from it.
You have to bury that animal.
Correct.
Okay.
Rabbi,
Yes.
what if you brought an egla rufa down to be killed, but instead of breaking in the back of the neck, you shechita on it? It's not a proper egla rufa. You haven't fulfilled the because you didn't do it correct. But would you get the punishment for doing shechita of that animal? You did it wrong. So would you get, if you also killed the mother on that or whatever, killed the child, would you then get the punishment if you've done the egla rufa wrong by doing shechita instead of doing the?
That's this discussion.
I know, but I don't know what the answer is. Like if
So we're saying
they're
it
talking
depends.
about a
According
case.
to Rabbi
Yeah.
Shimon.
Yeah, but
So-
those aren't the cases. Those are the cases where someone had actually intended to do the egla rufa, but instead messed up and did shechita on the animal instead.
Oh, shechita doesn't need kavana.
No. Shechita is
Shechita,
from the...
as long as it's koach gavra, you don't need kavana for shechita. As long as it
It
was
cannot be mixed up.
person's
Shechita
action.
is from here and
People make mistakes all the time. The Gemara asks questions all the time.
Unless
People
they have
do it
too
wrong.
much lechem.
Okay, we are dealing now with, again, the prohibitions of oso v'es beno. The prohibitions of you're not allowed to shecht on one day a parent and a child. So now we're going to learn about
Oh, Rabbi, excuse me. What was that with the father too? I forget.
Oh, so we said it was machlokas about the father. It's an argument. One
It's an
opinion yes,
argument.
another opinion not. Right.
For mother, definitely no.
Correct.
But for father is a question mark.
Exactly.
Waiting for Eliyahu Navi.
Oh, no, so a question mark, it was an argument. I don't think I don't remember how we passed him, but it was an argument.
For
It was 2
sure,
to 9.
it's the dad, you try not to do it. But
It's
if
not
you don't
teku.
know,
It's maple.
Is that the halacha?
yeah.
Amok? Okay, so Almog check, thank you. If we know who the father is, then we wouldn't kill the father and the child. But if we're not sure, then we could do it.
Unless you know for sure.
It's hard to know who the father is.
So if the mother gets shot by an arrow, something, the baby could be slaughtered
sure, everybody
the same
agrees.
day.
Everybody agrees.
That is
Everybody agrees.
Okay, only slaughtering
Correct.
is the.
The Torah says lo tishchatzu b'yom echad.
Anyhow, the mother cannot be eaten anyhow because it was shot, right?
The mother
Okay.
will call it.
All right.
Slaughtered, but no sprinkling.
So now we're
of
going to
blood.
learn about partners. Shnayim shalakchu paro bna. Let's say 2 people go to the market. Yaakov buys the cow, the mother, and Shimon buys the son, the little ox. Eze shalakach rishon yishchot rishon. Whoever bought the animal first, he has the right to shecht first. But let's say the second one jumped that day, and he slaughtered first. The guy who bought the child, and he bought the child second, he slaughtered first. All right, so it wasn't right. It wasn't right because he bought second, so he should have waited till the first had today, and then he should have tomorrow. But now that he slaughters today, now the first can't slaughter. Okay, it's not right, but zachar, he didn't do any aveira, and that's it. Once he slaughtered, he can eat it. And now the other one is blocked. He can't slaughter because once the child was slaughtered, or once the mother was slaughtered, then the other one can't be slaughtered. Rabbi Yosef explained, Lenyan Dina Tzanat. This Mishnah is telling us if there's an argument in a court case, right? The Yaakov bought first, and then Shimon bought. Shimon says, I'm going to slaughter. Yaakov says, hey, but I bought first. I should be the one to be able to slaughter. Let's go to the court. So this is how the court should resolve it. You're right. The one who bought first should have the first right. Says the Mishnah. If the second guy, though, jumps ahead and slaughters, so, okay, he has rizus, and he gains by it. Zariz, he has rizus to lo avrisuri. There's no prohibition. Because since the other family member has not been slaughtered today, he can slaughter this family member today. Then Iskar, and he gains the kachal bisri. He can eat the meat today. He doesn't have to wait till tomorrow to shecht. Next Mishnah.
It's interesting that one gozer to the butcher that he couldn't sell the son the same day.
They didn't make that to
Right.
be correct. Next Mishnah. Shachat par. Let's say a man slaughters the cow, the mother. Yachakach, and after he slaughtered the mother, Shnei banah. He doesn't slaughter one calf, he slaughters two calves, two sons. So now, what happens? Sofik shmonim. He gets 80 lashes. In other words, he gets malchus twice for each one. That's right. Let's say he was the other way. Shachat shnei banah. He slaughters the two kids. That's okay. You can slaughter the two kids. But now, once you slaughter the kids, you can't slaughter the mother. Then he slaughters the mother. So then, Sovigasar Bayim. Then he gets 40 lashes because there was only one act of prohibited shchita.
I thought it was 39 lashes, Rabbi.
Yes, 39.
Where does the 40 come from?
It's not 40, it's 39, but we call it 40 because the Torah says 40, and we learned from Psukim, as we learned in Makos, that if we subtract one, so we call it 40, but really it's 39,
They
correct?
give him
How
a
can it be
discount,
80?
Rabbi?
They give him a discount.
How can it be possibly
When we
80?
say 80, it means 2 times 39, it means 78.
But they're not consecutive then, right? Can't
They
be.
could be consecutive, one
I
after
thought
the next.
that the reason we do 39, not 40 is because we don't want to kill the guy. So if
No,
we go to 80,
it's a pasuk not to do 40. No.
One act cannot incur two liabilities.
But we'll see in a second. Right now we're saying that in this case, there's one Aveira. Right? The Aveira is don't slaughter the mother now. So that's the Aveira. But what happens if it's this case? Shachta, let's say he slaughters the mother, the Esbita, and he slaughters the daughter of the mother on this day, and then Vesbaspita, and then he slaughters the daughter of the daughter on this day. So it's now Sofik Shmonim. Now he's going to get, again, 2 sets of Malkos. Because on the grandmother and mother, that's one Osav Espina. Then on the mother and granddaughter, that's another Osav Espina. Shachta, let's say he slaughters the grandmother. Then Vesbaspita. Then he slaughters the granddaughter. Now this is going to bring up Seth's case, one act. So now he wants to slaughter the daughter. So now we tell him, listen, slaughtering the daughter is 2 Averos. If you slaughter the daughter, it's going to be 1 Avera of grandmother and mother. It's going to be also at the same time another Avera of mother and granddaughter. It's going to be 2 Averos. So v'achakach shachar esbita, then he slaughtered the daughter. Then sovigasar b'im, he gets 1 set of lashes. That's the view of the Chachamim. Because according to the Chachamim, if it's 1 act, it's only going to get 1 set of lashes. It's not going to get 2 liabilities, as Seth pointed out. But Sumchus disagrees. Sumchus on Mishum Rabbi Meir, sovigar b'im. Shmonim. Sumchus says, in Rabbi Meir, he gets Shmonim, he gets 2 sets of lashes. Okay, says the Gemara. First, let's understand this point. Clearly, the Mishnah assumed that you have a violation of Osov Espino, not only if you slaughter the mother and then the child, but also the other way. If you slaughter the child and then the mother. So, Amai, why is that so? Osov Espino Merachmana. Doesn't the Torah say it and its child? The Torah never said you can't do the child and then it. You can't think to say that. The prohibition is not just mother and then child, but also child and then mother. The Tanya is going to do a brisa. Osov Espino. Him and its child. Eli ela Osov Espino. So that would only be him and the child. Osov Esimo Minayin. How do we know him and the mother is also a problem? Kishuam, since the pasuk says Lo Sishchatu, you shall not slaughter in the plural tense. Harei kan shnayim. Right? It says Lo Sishchat. Lo Sishchat would be singular. Don't slaughter. Don't do the slaughtering. So it says Lo Sishchatu. That's 2. Okay, it says what's the 2? Echad hashochet es apara, whether it's you're slaughtering the cow, ve'echad hashochet es ima, or you're slaughtering the mother, ve'echad hashochet es bena, or if you're slaughtering the child, whoever way you're doing it, it is a prohibition. Let's say you have 3 people. Sorry, okay, this is the case. Echad hashochet es apara, one guy is slaughtering the child. I'm saying mother. Echad hashochet es ima, one is slaughtering the grandmother. Ve'echad hashochet es bena, and one is slaughtering the granddaughter. So then we would say, if we have 3 people, one did the grandmother cow, one did the mother cow, and one did the granddaughter cow. So Shnayim Achronim, the last 2, the ones who did the grandmother cow and the one who did the granddaughter cow, chayavin, are both chayiv. That's why it says lo sishchatu. So Gemara says, 1 second. Turning now to pay beis and beis, I need lo sishchatu for something else. I need boile legufei. I just need it for itself. That you can't slaughter both of them. So imkain, if so, the pasuk said lo sishchot. Don't slaughter in the singular. My lo sishchatu. Why does it say in the plural? You shouldn't shecht. It's to include these scenarios too. But still, I need, it says lo sishchatu for something else, because of lo sishchot. If it would have said lo sishchot, having a chad in, I would have said the issue is only when one person slaughters the mother and the child. But if it's two people, one person slaughtered the mother and somebody else slaughters the child, lo. That's what it says lo sishchatu. Because of Rechon lo sishchatu, that's what Hashem says lo sishchatu. Afilu trey, but not to say that there's also a prohibition if it's child and then mother. So Gemara says no, imkain, if so, it would have said lo yishchatu, lo yishachatu. That's people doing this shechting. Or lo yishachatu, meaning the animals should not be shechted. My lo sishchatu, what does it say lo sishchatu? That's Shmami Natarti, to teach you two laws. To teach you, number one, that there is a prohibition if one person does the mother and another person does the child. And also teach you that there's a prohibition not only of mother and then child, but also the other way. Child and then mother.
But if these three people, they don't communicate and tell each other about the mother and grandmother, there's no punishment involved here, Rabbi.
Well, there couldn't be punished because people didn't know. But I mentioned the other day that I was listening to Rabbi Rosner's shir on Daf Ayin Ches. So he quoted the Chassam Sofer, who says maybe one of the lessons of Osov Espino is to teach us that all Jews are connected to each other. So that if a Jew somewhere slaughtered the mother cow, even though I own the child cow, why should his action impact me? All Jews are connected to each other. If he's slaughtered, I can't slaughter now. I need to wait till tomorrow. It's to teach us
But
that we're all
he doesn't
united.
know this is a mother, this is a daughter or whatever.
He doesn't know. He doesn't get punished.
He
So if
doesn't
a
get-
guy slaughters one of the animals, it doesn't matter? Then I'm okay?
Then it wouldn't matter.
So Rabbi, why?
Also, Rabbi,
Guy
didn't
slaughters
we
one
learn
of
that
the
if you do two wrong things, you cannot be double punished? Only the worst scenario, you get punished for the worst scenario part of it. Yeah.
Yes, Kim
So here you're doing two double mistakes and you get double lashes
No, but
of
it's the
death.
same sin. It's the same sin. It's not two different sins, and it's not two different punishments.
I know, but it shouldn't be like only one
No.
time and
Double
see which
trouble.
one is the
No, you have a lot of counts.
based on that law we
Someone
learned.
is, someone's up for a lot of counts, a lot of laws. You can get lots of prohibitions, lots of punishments.
If the mother dies, you can't shech the child. Right?
You could,
Oh, you're able to shech it if it dies?
Double.
correct.
Rabbi,
Only you can't chef the mother and child. You can't do two shchitas. A shchita on the mother and a shchita on the child.
if two people are involved in taking an item out of the Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim on Shabbos, you're putter. So why in that case should people be putter? And here in the case of
It's all based on psukim. That's based on the word ba'asosa. Ba'asosa is kula v'lo miktsasa, doing all of it, not doing part. Here there's another pasuk, lo sishchatzu. The plural pasuk is to include this. Okay, now said the Mishnah, shachta. Let's say he slaughtered the grandmother, be'ez bas bita, and then he slaughtered the granddaughter. So okay, so far no sin. But then he slaughtered the daughter. So then either he gets 40 lashes, and according to Sumchas he gets 80 lashes.
This is one guy doing it.
One guy doing it all.
Oh.
So Amar le'Abai Rav Yosef. Abai said to Rav Yosef, "My time of this Sumchas. What's the reasoning of Sumchas who holds that there are two sets of lashes for slaughtering the middle generation?" Savar Sumchas, because Sumchas holds like this: Achal shnei zeisei chelev. V'helam echad. Let's say a person eats 2 olive worth of forbidden fat, yet in the same moment of forgetting. He forgot that forbidden fat is prohibited, so he ate 2 olive worths. So then, chayiv shtei chatzos. he would have, once he realizes that what he did was a sin, he'd have to bring 2 karbanos chatos. Because Simchas holds that each kezayis of fat obligates a separate chatos. So if each kezayis of fat obligates a separate chatos, according to Simchas, let's say it wouldn't be shogeg. Let's say it would be mezid. They warned him, don't eat it, because this is forbidden fat. And he eats the 2 kizesim, he would get 2 sets of malkos. So therefore, here too, when he slaughters the middle generation, he gets 2 sets of malkos. 1 set of malkos for the avera of the grandmother and the mother, and another set of malkos for the mother and the granddaughter on the same day. Ubedinu, now really it would make more sense to Lishmin and Ba'alma. It would make more sense to tell us this in other cases, right? Let's say a man eating 2 olives of fat, right? And we'd say even though he's doing the same avera of eating fat, but since he's doing 2 olives worth, he gets 2 sets of malkos. That would be a bigger chiddush than what Sumchas is saying, because here it's true that there are 2 sins in slaughtering that middle generation, but the 2 sins are because of 2 different bodies. One is because of the grandmother, and one is because of the granddaughter. So it's 2 different bodies. But the reason why I did say this case, where it's because of 2 different bodies that you have 2 sets of malkos, to tell you how far the Rabbanan go in disagreeing with Sumchis. Even though these sins are really created by different bodies, Patri Rabbanan, the Rabbanan say it's 1 act, and if it's 1 act, as Seth pointed out, it can only create 1 liability, and therefore it's 1 sin in 1 act. It's the sin of Osav Esbeno in 1 animal, therefore there's only going to be 1 set of malchus. So is that what's going on here? Odilmor, maybe Kasavar Sumchas, maybe Sumchas holds, if you eat 2 olive worths of fat at one moment, he would only be chayav 1 karban chatas if he forgot that fat is prohibited. But over here, Hainu time, why is Sumchas saying that there are 2 sets of malkos? Since these prohibitions are based on different bodies, they're considered like separate prohibitions, and there should be 2 sets of malkos. But if it's 1 person eating 2 olive worths of fat, then certainly there'd only be 1 malkos. Amar Le, Yosef said to Abaye, in truth is the first way. Kasavar, Sumchas holds, if a person eats 2 olive worths of fat in 1 forgetting, he then has to bring 2 karbanos chatas. And if a person did it on purpose, he would have to get 2 sets of lashes. How did Rav Yosef know this? Mimai. How do we know that that's the view of Sumchas? From another case. We learned in a brisa. Hazorea kilayim loka. If a person plants a cross mix of seeds, and then it sounds like another cross mix of seeds, he gets lashes. So my look, what does it mean he gets lashes? You say he gets 1 set of lashes, obviously. Of course, he did the aver of kilayim, you get lashes. Oh, and furthermore, my kilayim. Why does it say kilayim? So therefore, says the Gemara, Elapshita, what it obviously is Ishtei Malkios. So it said kilayim to say that for each act he gets 2 malkos.
So he doesn't have to do sin offering, Rabbi?
If he does it on purpose, he gets 2 malkos.
If he does it purposely.
If he does it on purpose, correct.
So he gets lashes and sin offering at the same time?
No, sin offering as if it was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Oh.
No, here we're talking about if it was done on purpose, he gets 2 sets of lashes.
Right.
So now, says the Gemara, B'mai askina. What's this case where you're going to get 2 sets of lashes for the planting of kilayim and then another planting of kilayim? Let's say he plants kilayim, and then he plants another set of kilayim. Ubishte asros, and each time he planted, there was a separate warning. So Tznina, okay, we learned that also. Nazir shayashosa yain kalayom. That's how you have a Nazir. He's not allowed to drink wine. So he drinks wine, and he drinks another thing of wine. Eino chayiv ela achas. He only gets one malchus. However, in Amrulo, if they said to him, Al tishta, don't drink, vushos, and he drinks. And then again they tell him, Al tishta, don't you drink again. Vushos, and he drinks the second time. Chayiv kol achas v'achas. So then he gets malchus for each one. So that can't be what Kilayim is teaching us, to tell me that if there are multiple warnings, there's multiple malchus, that we know. So what is Kilayim saying? Elab Shitas, the case of Kilayim is Bevas Achas, that he's planting the two sets of Kilayim in one act of planting. So with one hand, with the right hand, he drops, let's say, wheat seed together with a grape seed with the right hand, and at the same time with the left hand, he's dropping a barley seed together with a grape seed. So wheat and grapes with the right, barley and grapes with the left, dropping it together. Ubahasra achas, and there's only one warning. And that's what we're saying, he gets two malchus. Now money. So who's going to be the source of this? If it's the Rabbanan who in our Mishnah said there's only 40 malchus and disagree with sumchis. In our case, where you have sins based on different bodies, right? A grandmother and a granddaughter, and nevertheless, Pati Rabbanan said there's only one set of malchus. In regards to Kilayim, Lo Kol Shekain, so certainly there'll only be one set of malchus. Why would the Brisa say that there are two sets of malchus? Elalav must be it is sumchis, and you see that sumchis holds that when you eat two kezesim of chelev in one act of forgetting, there are two sets of malchus, and if it was b'shogeg, it would be two korbanos. Says the Gemara, lo, it's not a proof. It's not a proof. Lo, I can tell you, Rabbanan. I can tell you that this brisa is the Rabbanan. And I'll tell you like this. It's not such a big deal that they get two sets of malchus, of course. It's two averos. The brisa is telling you something else. That there are two types of kilayim. There's kilayim of wheat with grapes, and there's kilayim of barley with grapes. And the point of the brisa is just as that Rabbi Yoshia is wrong. Rabbi Yoshia holds that kilayim is only kilayim is only if you plant together in one act wheat, barley, and grape. That's the chiddush. That if you plant wheat and grape, or sor v'chartzan, or barley and grape, nami mechayev, it's also the prohibition of kilayim. And maybe the case of the price is he did kilayim, then he did another kilayim, and there were in fact two warnings, one warning before the first, one warning before the second. And the chiddush is not the issues of how many malchios one would get, that's obvious. The issue of two acts, the issue is here, the novel point here is that there are two different forms of kilayim. So 1 second. So let's see what's pshat in sumchas. Tashma, come to your proof. We learned in regards to gid anasha. There are, let's say, in an animal, two sciatic nerves that are prohibited. Achal mizeh kezayis. Let's say ate from the right thigh a kezayis of the gid anasha, umizeh from the left thigh kezayis, another kezayis of the gid anasha, of the other gid anasha. So Sofik Shmonim, he would get two sets of malchus. If you don't mean a Sofik Elarbaim, if you just says he only gets one set of malchus because he holds that the Gid Anash is only on one side. So now what's the case where the Tanakama holds that he gets two set of malchus? He ate from the right side and was warned beforehand, and then he ate from the left side and he was warned before that with Shtei Hasros, and there were two separate warnings. So then, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. So what's the reasoning of Rabbi Yehuda who holds that he only gets one malchus? Because the Gemara is going to explain that according to Rabbi Yehuda, there is a safek whether the Torah prohibits the right thigh or the left thigh of Gid Anasha. So Asra Safeki. So here, each warning was a safek. It was a doubt warning. Right? Maybe this is the sin. Maybe that's the sin. We know that Rabbi Yehuda holds a conditional warning is not a warning. The time is within a brisa. Let's say there is a question of a person who doesn't know who his father is. So Hika said if he hits one possible father, and then he hits the other possible father, or Kila says he curses one possible father, then V'chazav Kila says, and then he curses the other possible father. Or even if in one act of hitting he goes after one and then hits the next. He curses both together. So then Chayiv. He's Chayiv because the man of Shach he either hit or cursed his father. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, no. If it was in one act, he's Chayiv because it could be a warning. Don't do this act because it's going to be a sin. But if it's one after the other, he's pater. Because it's Asra Safik, each warning was a conditional warning. Ela Pshita, so what's clear? This Mishnah is talking about Bivas Achas and Asra Achas. It's talking about where he eats in the two Gidanashes at once. And there was one warning. So now, Tanakama, who's the Tanakama who says that he gets two set of Malchus? If it's the Rabbanan who disagree with Sumchis, Hashtu Mahasam, think about our Mishnah, Duguf Mechulak, and we're talking about a sin for a grandchild and a sin for a grandmother, and nevertheless, Patri Rabbanan, the Rabbanan say there's only one Malchus. Hacha and Gidanasha, where it's all one body, Lo Kolshkin, certainly should be only one Malchus. Elalav, so what do you see? It's Sumchis. And you see that Sumchis holds that even though it's the same body and it's not Gufim Mechulakin, there could be two obligations of Malchus for two acts, two Kazesim. No, that's not the proof. We're really talking about a case where he ate one from one Gidanasha and then he ate from the other Gidanasha. The Rabbanan. And it's the Rabbanan. It's the Rabbanan who disagree with Sumchis. And nevertheless, they're going to hold that here there's going to be a Chiyuv. So we said 1 second, if it's Bezeh Chazeh, how does Rabbi Yehuda hold that there's a Chiyuv? Rabbi Yehuda holds it's Asra Safek. The Tana of this source, this Brisa, holds that according to Rabbi Yehuda, even a conditional warning is considered a warning. But since it's considered a warning, there was a warning. Therefore, there could be Malchus. According to Yehuda, there's only one Malchus because only one side is Gidanasha. And according to the Chachamim, there are going to be two sets of Malchus.